Hubungan bilateral antara Malaysia dan juga Itali telah terjalin selama 64 tahun lamanya. Pada November, jumlah ekspor Malaysia ke Itali meningkat 46.7% dan ketika ini terdapat sekitar 108 syarikat Itali berada di Malaysia. Namun di sebalik angka-angka ini, kita ingin mengetahui bagaimanakah hubungan Malaysia dan juga Itali pasca COVID-19 ataupun di tengah COVID-19 dan juga bagaimanakah kedua negara dapat meningkatkan lagi hubungan ini. Kita bersama dengan Duta Besar Itali ke Kuala Lumpur, Cristiano Magipinto. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us today. I think we can all agree that people know Italy, the brands that come out of Italy, the food, the culture. Tell us about the relationship between Italy and Malaysia and how has it changed because of this uncertain period that we live in right now?
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for interviewing me. I'm happy to be on Astro AWANI for this interview and for talking about the relations between Italy and Malaysia. As you mentioned, Italy is a well-known country for its culture, for its food, for its fashion. But Italy is much more than this, in the sense that Italy is also one of the most industrialized and technologically advanced countries in the world. If you consider Italy as a manufacturing country, it is the second in Europe and the fifth in the world. We are leaders in many different high technology sectors like aerospace, like industrial machinery, like green energy and circular economy. Of course, we keep our leadership in the sector of design, in the sector of food and fashion. The relationship between Italy and Malaysia is a relationship which has increased and deepened very much in the last few years, not only with Malaysia, but in general with the ASEAN countries. We look with increasing interest at this region in the world, and as a matter of fact, there has been in 2020 a very important development. Italy has become, on September 9th, 2020, a development partner of ASEAN. Because at the opening of the 53rd session of the ASEAN Minister of Foreign Affairs Summit last September 9th, they have unanimously accepted the candidature of Italy to development partnership. We are very happy and very proud of this development, which will let us to further increase our relationship with the ASEAN countries and among ASEAN countries with Malaysia, which we consider a hub among the ASEAN countries for Italian economy and Italian companies.
Your Excellency, Italy is also one of the hardest countries hardest hit by COVID-19 in the EU. But how is Italy doing right now?
Yes. As you mentioned, as a matter of fact, Italy has been one of the hardest hit country in the European Union and has been also one of the earliest hit country. It was already in February last year. We were able to manage the situation not only but to flatten the curve during the first month of summer, and after that, as all the other European countries, we have experienced a second wave of the virus. From this point of view, I have to say Italy has been a model of managing the COVID-19 situation, in the sense that we have been one of the first countries to experience in Europe a general lockdown with many restrictions. The situation now is improving thanks again to the new restrictions. At the same time, we are at this moment the second country in Europe for a number of people who have been vaccinated against COVID. Yesterday in the Italian newspapers, they were giving the news that Italy has passed the mark of 1 million people already vaccinated against COVID. We started our vaccination campaign on the 27th of December together with the other European Union countries. Of course, there have been economic consequences of the COVID, and as the most part of the countries in the world, in 2020, Italy will register a negative growth. But luckily, this negative growth has been less pronounced than the first forecasting were telling us. We should end 2020 with a drop in the Italian growth of around 8%. If you consider that the first forecasting were much worse and they generally were more than 10%, we have to say that there has been, especially in the second part of the year, an important reaction, and Italian economy has shown its resilience and its capability to react and to start again to grow. So we hope that we could do, of course, much better, and then we will go back in a positive growth in 2021, also thanks to the European Union funds. You know, Italy has been one of the countries that has most fought for the European recovery funds. We have already presented to the European Union more than 500 projects on which to base Italian growth in the next years in many different countries. Of course, digital economy, manufacturing that I was mentioning before, energy, infrastructure, tourism, cultural heritage, education.
And Your Excellency, surely this presents a challenge for Italy to move forward, to recover, and to treat 2021 as a year for recovery. And because of COVID-19, countries are focusing more on domestic recovery. Is bilateral or regional relations still important, especially with countries in Southeast Asia? You mentioned that Italy has become a partner to Southeast Asia, to ASEAN, but we want to know whether bilateral and regional relations is still important when Italy is recovering.
Yes, absolutely. I would say that not only they are still important, they are even more important because I think that only cooperating with other countries, only increasing our relations with other countries and with this region and with Malaysia also, we can faster go out of the economic problems created by the COVID-19 crisis. Also because, you know, in all the statistics, this region of the world is the region which is considered the first one to grow in 2021 and the one which will probably have the better growth. So that is the reason for which bilateral cooperation and regional cooperation has become, because of COVID, more and more important. And from this point of view, we have to say that the contacts between Italy and Malaysia have not only been stable, but have increased in the last 3 years, thanks to a series of meetings between the Italian government and the Malaysian government, starting in October 2017 with the visit of the Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Scalfarotto, and in December 2018 with the visit of the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Manlio Di Stefano, who had an extensive series of meetings here in Malaysia. And these were followed in 2019 with a meeting in Brussels between the then Italian Minister of Foreign Affairs and the then Malaysian Minister of Foreign Affairs, the visits to Italy of then Minister Teresa Koch, the meeting between the Italian Minister of Defense and the Malaysian Minister of Defense of the time at the Le Bourget International Air Force Exhibition, and the visits to Italy at the end of 2019 of Minister Liking and Minister Zuraida Kamaruddin. And I want to mention also that in this new normal, we have had also a virtual meeting. Our Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs last June met virtually the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia in a very good and meeting in which we decided to strengthen our cooperation in many important sectors, especially sectors advanced from the technological point of view, like aerospace, circular economy, green energy, and so on. So I would say there has been not only a stability of the cooperation, but an increasing of the cooperation, because we all realize that because of COVID, we need to cooperate more.
Your Excellency, you mentioned aerospace twice in the last 5 to 10 minutes. How important is aerospace? And also on top of that, I think we all know that the export to Italy increased about 40% in November of 2020. That is a good number, especially I think it places Italy in the top 3 of exports to the EU. But what are some of the opportunities for Malaysian investors in Italy? Would it be aerospace? How can both countries collaborate even more?
Absolutely. You know, we have, first of all, let's consider the years from 2015 to 2019, because of course 2020 is an atypical year. In the last 5 years, from 2015 to 2019, the bilateral trade between Italy and Malaysia increased 33%. Both Italian exports and to Malaysia, and Malaysian exports to Italy, which is a very good number, because it means that there is a lot of space for cooperation and for bilateral trade still between the two countries. The good news is also that during 2020, in spite of the crisis caused by COVID-19, the bilateral trade between Italy and Malaysia was almost stable. That was a very reduced reduction, and this was also probably among all the ASEAN countries, the bilateral trade between Italy and Malaysia was the more stable one. You know, the sectors are many different. It's of course the traditional oil and gas sector, it's the chemical and petrochemical, the industrial machinery, mining, construction, information technology, electronics. These are all the sectors of our bilateral trade, without considering, of course, the traditional made in Italy, food, fashion, jewelry. Aerospace that you mentioned is an increasing sector of cooperation between the two countries, because Malaysia would like to become, as you know, an aerospace hub in this region by 2030. And Italy has not only demonstrated, but has confirmed that we would like to be in this one of the main partners of Malaysia, because of our technological edge in this sector. And for the rest, we have investment in Malaysia in many different fields. As I said, I mentioned it before, in oil and gas. We have in the food sector, there are in industrial machinery sector. You consider only that in the last 6-7 years, the number of Italian companies present in Malaysia have more than doubled. In 2012, we had 50 Italian companies. In 2019, the Italian Embassy, the Italian Trade Office, and the Italy-Malaysia Business Association have counted 110 Italian companies, more than twice. So this means something. This means that the Italian companies are more and more interested in investing in this part of the world and in this country specifically.
What are some of the pain points to increasing bilateral investments trade between both countries? Could you share with us? Because I think somebody said, or some people have said that because of the MCO and because of the emergency that was declared, this could hurt potentially foreign investors coming into this country. What are some of the pain points? Are those the pain points?
For the moment, what we notice, as I was saying before, is a constant interest. As far as the Italian embassy, the Italian Trade Commission, the Italy-Malaysia Business Association are concerned, we see a continuing interest of Italian companies for Malaysia, and we haven't seen any decrease. On the contrary, the Italian companies which are already in Malaysia, with whom we have been in contact in this months of crisis, they have all stated to us their interest and their intention to stay in Malaysia. I have also to say that we have had a very good cooperation in all, because there have been, of course, it's inevitable, there have been difficult moments, especially with the first MCO. Sometimes it was not clear which were the essential sectors, which were not the essential sectors, which company could work, which company could not work. And I have to say that we have had always a very good cooperation from the Malaysian institutions. And I really have to say that I'm happy to mention here institutions like the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MIDA, Matrade, and InvestKL, for example, which have always helped us and the Italian companies to navigate this difficult period and solve their difficulties. And so we have always had this very good cooperation with Malaysian institutions, and in order to favor the presence and the work of the Italian companies in Malaysia.
And Your Excellency, I think in December of 2020, Deputy Minister Manlio Di Stefano also stated that we are collaborating with Malaysia at the space agency level for the organization next year of the 5th International Space Forum to be held in Kuala Lumpur in 2021. And he hopes that he'll be able to attend the forum in person. Any details on this, Your Excellency?
Yes. We have two very important events coming on in 2021, and of course these are of course depending when we will do them exactly. It will depend on the evolution of the pandemic. One you mentioned, and it is the International Space Forum that the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Di Stefano, mentioned in December. In December, at the beginning of December, on the 4th of December, we had a webinar with Malaysia and with other ASEAN countries on aerospace cooperation. And this is a very important event. It's an event at the political level, at the ministerial level, which is organized together by the International Astronautical Federation and the Italian Space Agency, and is hosted in Malaysia by the Malaysian Space Agency. This is I would say, a trilateral joint venture. And as I mentioned it before, Malaysia would like to be a hub in the aerospace sector by 2030. This is one of the ways in which Italy is proactively cooperating with Malaysia to realize this Malaysian ambition. And we hope, of course, that at that point we will have the possibility to have an Italian political presence in, I would say, physical presence, not only on online or on a virtual way. The second very important event that we are organizing in the second part of the year in Malaysia, the last month of the year, is the high-level dialogue on Italy-ASEAN economic relations. This is an event which has been already hosted in other ASEAN countries. It started in Indonesia in 2017, then it was in Singapore in 2018, and in Hanoi in 2019. And what happened was, of course, that we wanted to have it in Malaysia in July 2020. We could not, for the reasons that we all know, but we had a series of virtual events already conducive to the event that we would like to have in presence. And this will be hopefully also a very important occasion for to strengthen the bilateral relation between Italy and Malaysia, because we are working on the possibility to have a high-level meeting between the Italian government and the Malaysian government on this occasion. So we hope for the best. We hope that the situation will improve both in Italy and in Malaysia from the point of view of the pandemic, so that we can have also maybe in a mixed formula, I would say, a part online, a part here, this very important meeting, which will make Kuala Lumpur hub of the economic relation in the ASEAN region with Italy. We have already a very important Malaysian investment in Italy, which is Petronas. Petronas is made of Selenia, an Italian company in the sector of automotive lubricants. Their most important companies in Europe in this sector, but also they have created in Turin, which is where this company is headquartered, their hub of all the research about lubricants in Europe. And I think that is not a chance that is not by chance that they have chosen Italy and Torino, because of all the advantages that Italy has been able to offer, and the fact that there is a presence of such an experience and technology already in Italy. And from this point of view, I would like to point out how the two economic systems, Italian and Malaysian, are very similar from many points of view. First of all, both economies are based on the number of small and medium-sized companies. So the economic structure of Italy and Malaysia is very similar from this point of view, but we have two economies which we can say are really complementary. So this is all conducive to a better and increasing cooperation between the two countries. And this cooperation, of course, can be then expanded from the economic to the cultural point of view. As you know, we realize a lot of cultural events here in Malaysia. We have had one last year, not last year, in 2019, one of the most successful exhibition at the National Art Gallery with almost 90,000 visitors, has been the exhibition about Leonardo da Vinci, which has been a joint venture between the National Gallery of Art, the Italian National Television, the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Embassy of Italy here. And we wanted to propose a new one in 2020, but of course we couldn't. But we still have hope to do it in 2021. It will be a surprise. I don't say anything more about it.
Let's hope that will become a reality. And Your Excellency, beyond dollars and cents, I think, how do you plan to strengthen the relationship with Malaysia further? Is that an easy task, seeing that brand Italy is well known throughout the world, or do you still have to work hard to push Italy and its culture and its interesting destinations to Malaysia?
You know, Italian brand, I have the impression, is already quite well known in Malaysia. If you go to all the malls here in Kuala Lumpur, and sometimes not only in Kuala Lumpur, you see all the most important Italian brands. Not only, but the big advantage of Malaysia is that Malaysia not only knows Italy from the point of view of the big fashion and food brands. It's Malaysia also knows Italy from the point of view of the Italian industrial sector. I was mentioning before the long-standing cooperation in the sector of oil and gas. There has been a tradition of Italian companies present in Malaysia in these sectors. But industrial machinery is one of the main items of our bilateral trade, because Malaysia knows well the level of technology and the convenience of Italian industrial machinery. From the cultural point of view, you know, it's very important, of course, all the cultural activities that we are making. And for example, the Malaysian cultural activities that the Malaysian ambassador in Italy is organizing to promote Malaysian culture in Italy too, because it's important to have a bilateral exchange. But if you think also of the increasing number of the Italian restaurants which are opening in Kuala Lumpur, they are all promoting Italian culture, because, you know, food, and I think that from this point, this is another point of contact between Italy and Malaysia. Food is so important in both our cultures.
Yes.
And we have such a variety of food in Malaysia and in Italy. So also from this point of view, we really understand each other, I would say.
On that note, we thank you very much, Your Excellency, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rizal.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Astro AWANI. Thank you.
Stay safe.